get to that, we got to talk to you. Before the commercial break, without hesitation, we said, who wins the big fight? You went directly to Floyd.
I mean, besides Floyd being family, you know, I've got a chance to see him train. I'm a guy who trains very hard in the gym. And just seeing the level of, you know, his trainer, man, he's like a machine, nonstop. You know, he's a guy who doesn't play. Like, I mean, with me, with music, I gives it my all. And just watching him, he definitely gives it. He's one of those guys who just knows he's going to conquer something.
So, you have you lifted weights with him, or what?
I've seen him train, and okay. You know, I train very hard. But you know, going in with him, he's a guy. You know, you might just be having a conversation with him, and he decides to go jogging 7 miles. You know, so Floyd, man,
sounds like me.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with him last night, and you know, I called him, and he was just like, I was training at the time. I really would have got in touch with you, but you know, what's up? And you know, I look forward to going to the fight and supporting him, you know.
What's his mentality like? You talked to him last night. Is he focused on the fight? Is he talking about the fight to you?
Well, he wasn't talking about the fight. He was just talking about training. But, you know, he's self-motivated, self-driven, and that's what it takes to be a champion.
So, obviously, you're completely biased, right?
Definitely going for Floyd. we haven't lost yet, and we ain't losing.
Stephen A. Flo Rida's here.
Well, I'm just trying to, I appreciate it. I really didn't need to say anything. I appreciate the education he's espousing upon Skip Bayless, because Lord knows, Skip needs it. I mean, the poor soul is just lost right now. He really, really believes that Pacquiao is going to win this fight. But one of the things, Flo, that I'm thinking about, when I spent time with Floyd, he tried to deny it, but I think he knows this is not just any other fight. Eventually, he was willing to admit that this is not just any other fight. Do you see the same Floyd that you've always seen? Or is there something visibly different in him right now that you've never seen before in all the years you've known him?
I mean, you know, one thing I say about Floyd, I mean, he has this attitude where he doesn't compromise. You know, like I said, man, just watching somebody like him train is like unbelievable. I thought I was a hard worker in the gym, but he goes hard, and he has this team that they're not just yes men, they're people that have been around him for quite a while. And it's not just about you, it's about your team, and they make sure that he's always on point. And I mean, he talks like a winner. Everyone, like, a lot of times if we're around him and his friends, and we don't just sit up there and talk, I mean, pay attention to him because he has all this money and things like that, because a lot of us are very fortunate. But everything that he says, I mean, he does. He's not just a talker. He shows it with action. He hasn't lost yet.
Well, I know that, but I'm asking you, being around him, because I know in the times that I've spent with him, it was pretty much the same, but there was a little difference, because this is Pacquiao. It's the magnitude. It's the big fight. It's something that people are going to use as an excuse to try and define his legacy. Do you see anything different at all about him?
I mean, the thing is with Floyd is, you know, he's a veteran of not losing, you know? And when you look at his opponent, he's lost. So if he tell you he's going to win the fight, you know, who you going to go with? You got to put your life on it. Who you going to go with? I'm going with Floyd.
So,
I'm going with Floyd.
Could I break up this love fest for just a moment to point out, just in the sake of objectivity, that Freddie Roach said yesterday, Manny Pacquiao is a workout freak. He used the word freak. That he stays in supreme shape. That he was playing professional basketball in the Philippines. I'm not saying he's a great basketball player.
He's not.
We know he's not.
Yes.
But then the next thing I know, Floyd's posting a video of him shooting little shots from baseline.
And making it too.
He posted the one he made. He didn't post the 24 he missed, but that's a whole nother issue. And I'm not saying Manny's a great basketball player, but he does play. Manny does play in a professional league, so he's running constantly up and down the court. And, of course, Floyd is scared to death about the PED issues that he accused Manny of. So we know that Manny was born strong because he sued Floyd and company for all those allegations that they leveled about PEDs. So one guy was born strong with punching power. The other guy was born without punching power and with brittle hands. Floyd's always had a problem with his hands getting busted up. So I'm not sure where all this has come from. I'm just trying to be objective here.
I mean, for what I know and you know, a lot of times it's not how you start. It's how you finish. And every time Floyd finished, what'd he get?
He's undefeated. But how many Pacquiaos has he fought? I can't even remember anybody he's fought. Can you, Stephen A.? Has he fought anybody?
How many Floyds has Pacquiao fought?
Well, that's a fair point. But we got a Pacquiao who has equal hand speed to Floyd and more punching power. So who you going to pick? I think I'm going to go with the guy with the punching power.
Well, me personally, I'm always motivated by, my stats. That's definitely always inspiring.
You got stats?
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Pacquiao, he's super nervous because he's taking some loss.
Okay.
Floyd hasn't taken any losses.
All right, I got one last stat for you. And this is an irrevocable stat. Nobody can change this stat because it's Father Time stat.
Okay.
One guy is 36 years of age. That's Manny Pacquiao. The other guy is 38 years old, and that's Floyd Mayweather, not so junior, right?
Skip.
Yeah.
One guy is being accused consistently of being an individual who never sleeps. Another guy can be a marketer for Ambien.
Okay.
I mean, what are you talking about?
That's all you got.
That's a stat.
That means somebody is on the run named Stephen A. Smith. Let's reach for the Ambien joke.
Smith?
Yeah.
Be nice, Smith.
Wait.
Listen,
Mr. Stephen A. Smith, could you please explain to me why your man is 38 years old? Wait, he's almost 39.
And I would try
38 years of age?
And when he championship under the belt.
All right, so let's switch topics. Let's talk about the Heat, shall we? So conference standings wise, they're on the outside looking in. What chances do you give them for making the playoffs?
Well, honestly, earlier I said my man's name wrong, but my boy Whiteside, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to a great year next year, because, injuries and things like that. My man, fortunately, Chris Bosh is out of it, definitely he's in my prayers. But as far as us doing anything, a lot of times I'm always talking mess, talking junk. Man, we going to the championship. I look forward to us having a great season next year. We got a great point guard. And
so you pretty much let this one go.
Yeah,
it's like not meant to be, right?
Yeah, but definitely still a Heat fan for life.
Well, it's interesting. First of all, Flo, I'm very, very proud of you because see, you need to take that position because this year really doesn't matter. Skip, I'm here in Indianapolis. You saw Dwayne Wade in Miami come here and play Indiana on Sunday. Paul George's return. I was at the game. I'm just looking at these guys, and it's like, look, here's the deal. When you look at Miami, if Chris Bosh had not gone down, with Goran Dragic here, with D-Wade playing the way that he's been playing, with Hassan Whiteside doing what he has been doing, a legitimate argument could be made that if the seedings allowed, Miami could have met Cleveland in the conference finals. To me, I'm almost at the point where I don't want them to make the playoffs, Skip, because I don't want them to bow out early because they don't have horses, and I don't want unnecessary wear and tear on the body of Dwayne Wade, who's been playing in the June the last 4 years. If you go home before the postseason, I don't mind sitting there and imagining Dwayne Wade resting since April, and then he coming back next year, and Chris Bosh coming back next year, and the whole crew coming back next year, ready to do their thing. I wouldn't mind seeing that. So it doesn't matter to me what happens to Miami this year. It's about next year and beyond. Pat Riley said it best. Don't judge him by this year. Over the course of the next 5 years, let's see who does what. He's highly motivated. Obviously, the rest of the franchise is. Let's see what goes down when they can stay healthy.
Definitely, it's going down for real. Believe that.
Okay, I'm with you, Stephen A., on this, except as we've talked about here recently, Dwayne Wade has had 3 recent 30-plus scoring games. Then he banged his knee on the floor and bruised it or whatever happened. I think it shook him up, scared him because he's had trouble with both his knees.
And then came back and dropped 24 and 27.
He did. But I even thought this team without Chris Bosh was starting to look like it could at least threaten Cleveland in the first round if it could get the 7th seed. At least push them a little bit.
Not Cleveland.
Put a little fear in them.
Not Cleveland, not in the first round. No, not you need all your horses for that kind of matchup. To go up against LeBron in the first round of the playoffs before wear and tear, additional wear and tear kicks in, no, you need more than that. So I don't want Miami up against Cleveland unless they got all their horses in tow.
Okay.
That's me.
You're right. But, it was definitely watching, my team give them a go.
Okay.
Christmas.
Speaking of
Christmas
LeBron,
Day.
we have not had you on the show to ask you what your feelings were when LeBron took off and went home?
Well, definitely I thought it was a joke. I got the phone call that, LeBron was possibly leaving, but after winning, a couple of rings and having the same team that won the championship, I thought maybe he'll stay. But fortunately he left. Definitely at this point I do understand that, you always want to do something great for your hometown. So understandable, but I was definitely in my feelings.
Okay, so what does that mean? You ran your feelings.
I was pretty upset. I'm like, man, let's go get another ring.
Yeah.
Let's have a three-peat, at least.
So do you hold it against him in your heart of hearts?
No, because I'm a fan of LeBron regardless.
Okay.
Definitely a fan of LeBron. Definitely a fan of guys like Michael Jordan. So, you can't hate on greatness.
See that?
Yeah.
All right, you're good with that.
That's a perfectly logical explanation. I still haven't listened. Listen, it's the family, it's friends, it's loved ones. Because I mean.